started recording. Okay, so let's say আমি বললাম, let's say I say that Rohim is a very good player. It's a vague statement. Why? When you see something, you have questions. If you have questions, that means it's a vague statement. So it says Rohim is a very good player. What type of player he is? Who loves him? Two questions. So anytime you have a sentence, you should have this idea of asking the question. If the question is not clear, that means it is still a vague statement. So we have to clarify this. Now, if I say Rohim is a very good football player, everyone loves him. Still a vague statement. Why? Coming to the point. Very good player. Based on what? What he does? No answer is there. Who loves him? Why loves him? Two questions now. Again, who loves him? Why loves him? So always ask this question. What type of good? So first one was not clear about what type of player he was. What type? And these two questions were there. We have not clarified. Clear so far? Now, how to make it better? Let's say if I clarify this one, saying Rohim is a very good, let's say, very good player, or instead of saying that, I could say last year Rohim played in the let's say Dhaka City football game with the national champions, and he scored let's say 4 goals in first 45 minutes, though he did not score further. For this reason, everyone in his local area loves him, respects him. Now tell me, is it a vague statement or clear? Is it a vague statement or clear? Is it clear now? Or do you have more questions?
Clear.
Yes, some of those are very clear, but still some questions are there. Everyone in his local area loves and respects him. Which local area? There is new question. Which local area? So when you write a sentence, try to ask these questions. If you have answer of all these questions, then the person who reads your writing will know, okay, so now we're talking about the details. We're talking about specifics. Now here in this line, we never say he is a very good player. So this is another writing technique. It says, tell me I'm good without saying I'm good. This is something you will see in the good writing concept. People say, say me I'm good without saying I'm good. Here in this sentence, we know who says he's a very good player, but specific says he is a very good player. 45 minutes, 4 goals, extremely good. With national champion, if this is a lower category people, that would be still a very good player, but now it shows that he's a national level player. He could score goals with national level people. That's a next level thing. Now we could do like the SEO example. We could probably have done like with Jinai Daha local team. So this is one way to write it. So that gives one perspective. But when you say national champion, here's one question, that which national? Probably it answers by Dhaka City. So that shows that it is kind of like in Bangladesh. But if someone is reading from outside of the Bangladesh, they would be a bit confused. So probably we have to write that as well. So this is how you make things clear. And rather than saying good, you specify what that is. So here one question remains, that which local area? No one has any answer from this. To make it better, what we could say, Jhinaidah area, let's say Jhinaidah Jila area. So that makes it a very clear. Jhinaidah Jila Para school area. Now we are very specific. This is a very specific region, very specific place, and that is the place who loves and respects him. Is it enough so far?
जी भैया
Not yet. Not yet. Now, the question here is that which type of love and respect? It is not clear. So you have to ask questions to yourself when you're writing a sentence. Does this answer this question? It goes for SEO as well. So when you're writing, if you try to answer these questions in your SEO, and you can actually train your AI, you can just first give this, never write a sentence like this. This is version improvement 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. Now you have learned it. Now whenever I give you a sentence, you try to improve it like this. AI can do it. So this is how you train the AI. Now, here the problem is the love does not have any examples. That makes a vague statement. You see how the vague is? And love does not quantify here. Everything needs to be quantifiable. If you see the first sentence, it's quantifiable. From very good player to now we're talking about specifics. You can make 4 goals in 45 minutes. But the second statement is a vague statement. Why? Because it does not elaborate the love and respect part in terms of number. See how to make it very clear? It's a vague statement, so let's make it clear. How to make it clear? So everyone in Jila school loves him, and we saw last year Romiz Ali funded him with 100K for his 1 year of expense, and let's say X person created a charity of 50K BDT for him. Now it clearly shows that what type of love and things we are talking about. The previous love was vague. Now we see the love in number. Clear. So we see the love in numbers. We see the passion or care in numbers. That is far better than writing love and respects him. Clear. Is it clear?
जी भैया
Okay. So this is how you write very specifics. So whenever you write a sentence, try to ask this question. It can be any writing, SEO writing or anything. And you can actually train your AI based on this, just like the SEO training I've given. Step number 1, the very bad link. How it is? It's just this. Something and goes to click here. That is the very bad link. This is what this is. Here. And if we compare the next version, it just says download PDF file. What type of PDF file it is? It does not say the answer. You have to rely on the same idea, same technology. The next one. Now we're talking about the very specific. So download the result of HSC for 2020 10 HSC 2020-10 science group. Now, this is actually talks about very specifics now. Download this result. So this is something like this. The next improvement could be, this is the GILA, sorry. This is not the one. Probably this would be like HSC if we just copy paste national champion. So GILA local, this one is same, but here this could be like this, because it does not say which group it is. This one, it says A plus, but it still A plus science group. This is much better because now we are talking about national champion, so that's why I added A plus. You see how the SEO links are improving. Next part, loves and respect, and we're specifying the GILA school. Okay, so we could say A plus and probably a better link in here. Okay, so probably this link will be the download result of HSC 2010 A grade results PDF. So this is a better link, right? So this is how you improve. The next one is kind of like using the title attribute, using the strong tag. You see the similarities. So this is how you improve in anything. Got it? So we start with writing. We also learn the SEO in terms of this, right? Does this make sense? It's same. Learning is same all the time. All the time same. You just have to rely. Okay, so I learned this technique. So where should I apply this technique? And every time ask this question. Where? Who? Why? See if a sentence clarify all these questions. If it clarifies all this question, it's a very good sentence. No one can beat you. Okay? If that has a, place that people can actually go ahead and make a hole in it, that means it's not a good sentence. So try to think about it. And then if I have to use AI, I would probably say reduce the line if I have a restriction of writing the line. But this is how you usually write your sentences, which should make sense. There is another term that I also teach that's called the PAR format. Probably you have seen this. If you're writing the CV, problem action result. How we do it? Let's complete it here. Let's say, what we say usually, let's say high, medium, low, or probably add a superlative with it, very, or let's say roughly, or let's say high, medium, low. So the numbers, if we just break it down, what could be the quantifiers? Could be high, very high, very high. There could be medium as well. There could be medium high. There could be low high. There could be now medium of medium. So just medium. Then could be medium low. Be very low. So this is like something when we say to someone, we can actually use these quantifiers. Correct? So far, is it correct? Let's say if we're writing a CV, you could say like, I have achieved a very high score or a very high result, right? So these are the things you could say in your CV. Now, what problem action result says that you first identify a problem, and second, you mention about action that you have taken, and based on that, what the result you have received. Okay. Now, a problem can be as simple as, let's say, hiring technical people. So let's say you said in your CV that I hired let's say technical people in my past, or let's say you said I hired very high quality technical people in my past. Now, let's say this is your CV statement or resume statement, right? This is carefully very wrong. If you know understood the first observation, you know, like, this is very wrong. How you can improve it? Do you have any idea what can we say here?
जी भैया
Any idea? Can you give me any idea? What should I write in here instead of writing here? So if it is V1, what should be the V2? What could be the improvement I could do in terms of PR?
আরো মানে এখানে একটা স্কোর ইউজ করতে পারি
Okay, let's say I hired very high quality. So high quality, what should I write instead of high quality?
কোন একটা মানে পয়েন্ট দিতে পারি নাম্বার
Exactly.
কোন একটা ইয়াটাতে দিতে পারি স্কোর ছিল এত
Yes. Now, when you say high, the high could have these numbers. High could be a number between, let's say, 87 to, let's say, 98. This is, let's say, what represents as high. What scores as medium high could be like 83 to 86. This could be medium high. Low high, that could be 78 to 82%. And what could be the medium? It could be above 65 to, let's say, 65 to 77. That could be the medium number. Medium low could be 55 to, let's say, 64. And you get the drill. The low could be less than 33. That could be the low. Okay. Now, if I have to put the number, since I say that it's a very high quality, so what number I will put? I will put a number between 87 to 98. So let's say I hired engineers or technical people 87% better than, or 88% better than others in my past. Now tell me, is it a vague statement from the previous slide? Yes. And most of the people probably stuck in V2. They do not improve because they did not answer the questions that we always seek for. Okay. Now, how to improve? For CV writing, first of all, you have to add a problem that really happened. So why really, this is like action you are talking. That means the middle part, not the problem. The question should be why you got into hiring this 88% better candidates. That is not there. That is the first thing that is wrong in here. Now, to write it in terms of CV or resume, first thing you have to say that the problem. So there could be that we lacked talented professionals and I hired this. Okay. Now, is it a vague statement?
Yes, bhaiya.
Yes, you got it. Why it is a vague statement?
What type of professional?
Yes, what type of talent is lacked? That is not answered. So here the question is, what is missing? Like, what type of talent is lacked? And there is no details about it. Again, you write the details, but in very short. It's not like you are going to write blah blah blah. Everything should be tied up with one to another. So now let's do the V4. So V4 could be, we were doing SEO, and most of the people hired in past do not know technical SEO. Okay, so this is now very specific. And then I hired, everything is there. Now tell me what's wrong in there.
মানে বেটার দেন বেটার দেন ইন মাই পাস্ট, মানে এই যে এটার মধ্যে আর কি, আই হায়ার টেকনিক্যাল পিপল 80% বেটার। তো টেকনিক্যাল পিপল মানে এই জিনিসটা পুরোপুরি এখানে ইয়া হয় নাই, স্পেসিফাই করা নাই।
Okay,
বড়
so that's a
যেমন
very good observation. So what type is not very clear. Then the next one you said better than others.
জি
What better? Like
বেটার দেন, ইয়েস।
these are the two questions. So every time you write something, you have to go with this idea of asking the question. If the question answers this question, if you cannot make any other new question, that means the line or sentence that people has written, it's a very solid one, very good one. Okay. Now let's come to the version 5. How you do the version 5. The version 5 is actually, it talks about the technical people. It's actually here in the first line, but it's a vague one because it does not connect very quickly, because those who actually scan CV, they do not have time to reconnect this one with this one. They don't have the time. So this is a very good observation. So we were doing SEO, or probably the SEO. Now we could actually write it in short. What we could say, like, our existing SEO team were inefficient, then I hired technical SEO 88% better than my past. Now here, is there any question? Is it good or bad? How can we improve it?
ইনএফিশিয়েন্ট, মানে হাউ মাচ ইনএফিশিয়েন্ট।
Very good. So here the question is how that could be, but usually the question is what type of inefficiency, right? What the question should be, what type of inefficiency? So if we cannot answer this, then it does not make any sense. It's coming back to the same one what I said, like love, what type of love that is, right? So again, just think about that. When you see something inefficient or bad, it needs to be also quantifiable. That is missing in here. What type of inefficiency and how much? The two questions you can form. If you can form questions, that means it's a bad sentence. It's not foolproof yet. Now let's come to the version 6. Our existing SEO team were inefficient on doing in-page semantic markup, or let's say schema, inefficient on doing page schema for SEO. What does it mean by page schema? Page schema means they have some format for SEO. So when you do the SEO, there are certain tags also that actually shows what type of data that you are presenting to Google. Let me give you a very good example that would be very clear. Let's say I search for a movie, let's say Badshah. So this is kind of the movie that I search. You see the data is coming up here. How? Because in the HTML, people have mentioned that this is a movie and Google has learned from it. So this is actually goes into the semantic markup. Also, here you see the ratings are coming up. So in your website, even if you put a rating like this, it will never come up like this. You have to feed Google that this is the rating. So there are specific ways to deal with it. So this is what talks about the schema. Are we good on this? Is it clear? So now, so I solved the first level of the problem. Now, is it a good sentence? But I mean, if there is any more questions, we can answer this. Do you see any other issues here?
মানে better than others in which field?
That is a good observation. Better than others in in which field or how. Right. Now, is there any other issues? Okay, let's drill it down very quickly. First issue that I could see up here, that inefficient does not have a number, right? So I mentioned like you need to put a number in there. Second, in my past, which past? How long we are talking about? So these are the questions that we can form. If we can form a question, we have to answer the question. So quantify, that would be the question in here. So these are the two things that I could come up with. So let's say I could write P7. So our SEO team were inefficient by, let's say, a medium, let's say 67% on doing the page schema for SEO. Very clear. Now, very clear we are talking about. This is the percentage. Then I hired SEO technical people. Now, there could be one question like, how did you hire? If you have done it, then you know the details. Then I created open book exam, which contains detailed, let's say detailed expression, or let's say detailed schema SEO as a training, and which resulted. Okay, let's just come in. Then I created a assessment. I created assessment for schema SEO, and finally it resulted 88% better hire than last 2 years. Now you see it's very short, concise, but it answers all the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So
Yes,
people understand like if it has to go with problem action result, it has to be very big. No, it does not. You can write problem action result in very short words. You have to be very careful what you are writing so that no one can form a question, no one can find a fault, and then it can be answered. Now, there's a difference between when you do the research and write it in CV. So when you write it in CV, people do not care. They do not go like where this number you're coming from. That's absolutely fine because these are like assumptions. If you have the exact number, that's good. But usually people have the high, medium, low. If you put high, medium, lows to this type of score, you get something like this. When you do the research, you have to back this number by a citation. That is the difference between a research and a general writing. So when you say ineffective by this, you have to provide a previous data from a source that is reliable. You have to cite it and then put the reference in the reference section. So this is what concludes a research and a general writing. Clear so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So we are stopping the call. Hopefully that is with 7 we completed. Probably I could go into 5 or 8 or 9, but I'm not just including here. So that's it, I guess. That should be enough to learn how to write very specific stuff.